Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. I am happy to see you guys today on a new video. Day late than usual, but I did not forget about you guys, so here I am. And today I'm going to talk about one of the most asked questions that I get, I think, from clients when I first start working with them, or people that comment on my YouTube videos or DMs I get on Instagram. As you probably know from clicking on the video today, I'm going to talk about the question, how long does it take to recover from DPDR? For some reason, you guys are so obsessed with figuring out exactly how long it takes to recover. And so I wanted to really make a whole video about this. I think I've answered this question maybe in like a Q&A video or something. But because you guys keep asking and I felt like it was an important video to do, not just to answer the question, but because it has a lot to do with the overall mindset that you have towards your situation, here we are today. The quick answer to the question is, I'm gonna give you two answers. First answer is the answer that you've heard probably everyone say, the process is different for everyone. And I stand by that. I will always stand by that. I have had clients that only had DPDR for 2 months already, but struggled a long time before they got rid of it. I've had clients that have had it for 6 or 7 years and that recover in a few weeks because they finally figure out what to do and what the right approach is, or they finally have that internal click of something that really resonates for them. So overall, I can never ever give you a time of this is exactly how long it will take. Also, because then you will get obsessed with that time and you will be panicking if it is that amount of time and you're still not recovered. However, I do want to give sort of an estimation of, my hands are yellow for some reason. I think that's from the sun. Anyways, I do want to give you guys an estimation based on the average amount of time it takes for a client to recover. I would say that, and this is the important key, once it clicks, it goes quite fast. And what I mean with when it clicks is when you truly understand why your DPDR is there, when you truly understand where it comes from, when you truly 100% understand it and stop being scared of it because you know what the intention is of your DPDR, which is always some form of protection. So once it clicks, once you go, all right, I understand, I know why it's here, I understand part of my process and understanding my own psychology, why it's here and what it's trying to do for me. And therefore, I am finally able to start practicing the tools with the right mindset. Usually it takes between a few months and a year. But as I've also said, if I look at my own journey, because that's what I always start with, the moment it clicked to the moment it started to go, the moment it clicked to the moment I was like feeling so much better, I would say it was like 2 or 3 months. However, the moment it clicked to the moment where it was completely gone, like had no symptoms at all, is very hard to pinpoint because, as I've mentioned in previous videos, the last stage of DPDR, of that hypervigilance, that hyper-awareness, is almost forgetting about it. It's like literally it fading to the background, literally it being so unimportant to you that you just do not think about it at all. And therefore, over time, that hypervigilance is able to fade away. And so also, I just kind of want to give this as a side note. Sorry, my hair. It's not because I'm saying all these things right now, and that's why I really, really never talk about this topic, but I thought I'll go into it a little bit today. It's because there is no measure, there is no like one measure for all. That's also the whole point of my recovery course, my DPDR and anxiety recovery course, is to really understand yourself, to really understand why it is there for you, to understand what your own beliefs and your own stress factors are that are contributing to you having these symptoms. And once you know what that core is, it can go quite quickly. It can only take a few months or even a few weeks sometimes. So it can go very quickly once you really understand yourself. So the answer to the question of how long does it take to recover from DPDR is this. It takes however long it takes for you to understand why it's there, therefore be on board with it to an extent, therefore be accepting of it and understanding that, okay, this is here for a reason. And once I work on that reason, I'm going to start feeling better. And third, for you to put those things into practice, for you to actually practice the core understanding of why you realize that it's there for yourself. So for a lot of people, DPDR has to do with control, for example. It has to do with not feeling safe, with not having control over something, not having control over your symptoms, not having control over existence, not having control over your own emotions. And so when you get to understand what your DPDR is really there for, in my personal case, I got to understand that it was there because I felt claustrophobic in life, because I had very serious control issues that were really coming up to the forefront. And my brain was trying to look for a way out of not having control, but it couldn't, because we don't have control over anything. Once I understood, oh, this is what it's truly about. It's about that need for me to be in control and me not having that control, and therefore me feeling deeply and existentially unsafe and therefore dissociating. Then I knew, okay, it's only trying to protect me, because I start understanding the symptoms that were going on, which I also really elaborately explain in my course. And I was able to really work with that and go, okay, I'm going to stop fighting against my DPDR. I understand why it's here now. And I'm going to practice the tools that I need to install that deep sense of inner safety and surrendering control. And so I don't know if this gave you an answer that you were hoping for today. What I can tell you is that every single person that has it, in my opinion, can recover. I've worked with a lot of people. With some people, I've worked 2 sessions. With some people, I've worked 2 years. And every person has their own journey and has their own background, but the core is the same for everyone. We all have to figure out why our body does not feel safe and how we can help it feel safe again. And however long that takes for you to figure that out is however long it takes for you to recover. And I also think, sometimes the people that aren't so obsessed with how long it will take are good examples of people that can recover more quickly, because they're more living from surrender and they're already less afraid of it. The fact that you're still asking that question of like, how long is it gonna take, means that you're still very, very scared of it. And if you're still very, very scared of it, then that's still contributing to that stress that's keeping it alive to an extent. So it's also good reflection if you clicked on this video to ask yourself, okay, is the reason I clicked on this video a good sign of the fact that I'm still really, really scared of myself and of my symptoms? And is now maybe a good time to really use that mirror of like, okay, yeah, I really am still running away. I really am still really scared of what's going on, to go on that journey of really deeply understanding yourself and why it's there, so that you can start to understand it better and create more acceptance towards it, and actually productively work on your symptoms. So the people that don't know yet, I kind of mentioned it throughout this video, and I'll mention it again. I haven't mentioned it in a long time. Is that I do have an online course. I also do one-on-one coaching, but because my waiting list has gotten so long, I decided last year to update my online recovery course completely so that everything you need to know and everything you need to understand yourself, plus a bunch of tools, meditation practices that really, really helped me and tons of people completely recover, is in the course. And so I'll put a link in the description. I always do. But for those of you that are new or that haven't heard me talk about that, just see, you can always check that out and see if that's something you're willing to invest in to take your journey that bit further. So I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, that this video gave you some relief, but also maybe gave you a bit of a mirror in front of you to think about how far along you are with letting go of the obsession of how long it will take for you to recover. If you have any other topics for me or questions for me for future videos, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section, and I will see you hopefully in my next video. Bye.